Hi, everybody. Kevin Wood back at you on Coffee Talk on the Port Jeff Pulse Network. This woman I'm about to introduce, I've been wanting to talk to for so long. I find her very inspirational in some of the things she's done. You might have seen on Facebook as early as 2018, she started a docu-series and a whole initiative called Be the Change. So today I welcome Rebecca Kassay, Port Jeff's own Rebecca. How are you, Rebecca?
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is such a pleasure to finally get to chat with you and share all the great possibilities for our local and even non-local residents to be a part of.
Absolutely. And I've been marking the time, so I'm going to do that here because when people look back at this 2 years from now, they're going to be like, first of all, why aren't they in the same room? And why is
Right.
Rebecca wearing a mask? We're going to get to that, but it is April 18th, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. And that's what we're going to talk about today. By the way, Rebecca and her husband run a operation called the Fox and Owl bed and breakfast, which to me exemplifies a lot of the charm of Port Jefferson. So, thank you for that. And thank you for all you do. I must tell you, I enjoyed your series as you're traveling across the
Thank you.
United States, volunteering, doing what you do to just help people and show people. I read something, turn viewers into doers. How good is that? I hope you came up with that on your own.
I did. I was, I like to wordsmith a little bit, and so I was typing out. I'm like, what is really our goal? I'm like, well, I want people to be doers. I'm like, and they're viewers.
Yeah.
It rhymes.
And,
I'm a
and,
poet,
and
not a poet.
What's so great about it is like we're all such viewers today. You're right. We're just by definition viewers because of this new technology.
Sure.
And it only takes one decision to
Yes.
turn around and be a doer.
Yes.
And apparently you've done that here. So I want to talk about, first of all, the design that I'm looking at is just phenomenal. I haven't seen this before. And
The
it's fashionable. Tell
it
us
is.
about it.
So I was really excited to wear this. First of all, I always wear this while I'm packing up our packages for the local essential workers, so that I stay safe and they stay safe too. But it was made for me personally by another Port Jeff owned business owner, Anik, who runs Hearts and Flowers. And so she's one of my favorite stories actually of this whole movement here, of local people in Suffolk and now Nassau County who want to help the essential workers get the PPE, the personal protective equipment that they need. So Anik, she and I had spoken on business terms as far as me getting flowers for clients here at the bed and breakfast, but also connected. We're both women business owners in Port, and really enjoyed chatting. And so when she saw the movement starting locally with trying to get people to make this PPE, she said, I can't sew, but I wish I could. And 12 hours later, she messages again and she says, I'm sewing. She says, I got a sewing machine and I'm making it happen. I'm not joking, Kevin. She makes like probably like 20 to 30 masks a day. Now she's making caps. And then she in
Oh my
particular
God.
is making these beautiful sets. So like you see, I'm wearing this like mask cap set. And she's doing this all out of the goodness of her heart. She's not taking any money. If anyone insists on giving her money, it just goes right into materials for us to buy things for
Oh my
the
God.
makers to go ahead and make. But I mean, she exemplifies the spirit of what's going on right now with this group, where there's so many people who really want to help, and they're stepping beyond their own typical boundaries to find ways to help. And so whether someone learns to sew for the first time, or looks in their home for these common items that we need donated for the movement, and or we have volunteer drivers who are moving these items around. It's just the outpouring of community support for our essential workers has just been absolutely phenomenal. And then not just in the physical barrier that we can provide for them from the virus, but also the emotional, the showing of emotional support to say we appreciate that
Yeah.
you're out there risking your own lives really to be helping in medical situations, or even our restaurant workers, our supermarket workers. They're out there interfacing with the public and risking themselves so that our lives can go on as they need to while we're in quarantine. So making something so beautiful and handmade is a way to say thank you in a way that we had kind of lost touch with as a society.
No doubt. When this first started happening 5 weeks ago, when this broke and your initiative started, there was a real l- quantity you needed things literally.
Yes.
So it had to be done. It was a necessity. Has that lightened up since federal money might have come into the picture? And where I'm getting at is like you might have really had to have had it done because there was a quantity that was needed. But now I could see the love and support is a mental uplift. I could feel that already.
Yes. So I would say it hasn't lightened, but it has shifted. So
Okay.
I'm so grateful to say that most hospitals are now getting more of the support that they need. So
Right.
they're receiving more masks, more gowns, more caps, all these things because the government is helping to make sure that happens. But there are other types of facilities, for instance, nursing homes, ambulance corps, especially those volunteer ambulance corps, who are kind of falling between the cracks. We've heard reports from correctional officers from facilities like the local prison systems, things like this, where they're still just getting that one mask a week, kind of
Right.
deal. And so technically, their supervisors say, "Well, you're covered. You have a mask," but I wouldn't want to wear the same N95 mask for a week. And if I did
Yeah.
have
It's three
to,
days tops. Yep.
exactly, like I'd want something to cover it up, because if you come in contact with someone who has or might have COVID, and that virus might be on the mask, then it's better to have a different covering that you can take off, wash, and
No doubt.
yeah. So that's we're really we still absolutely take requests from people working in hospitals, but a lot of our requests are from anyone from these nursing homes, again, grocery store workers, restaurant workers. I know the local chamber of commerce reached out, so we're coordinating with them to make sure that anybody has really everything they need, because sometimes and I understand why, if the bosses say like, hey, this is all we can give you, but technically you're covered, the employees might not still feel safe, and we want to make sure they're not anxious about going to work.
Oh, that's absolutely wonderful. The term OSMS, open source medical supplies. Can you explain that to us?
Sure. So I was actually inspired to start this by an international organization, the Open Source Medical Supplies. It's a response to the idea that there are so many creative, industrious people, individuals really out there, who can make these items at their own homes or at their personal businesses, and not rely on those global supply chains, which have gotten
Mm,
either completely shut down or bogged down by so many requests. And so open source refers to the sharing of patterns, of 3D printing files, of all sorts of things that help people make without having to pay for that information. And so it's essentially a community of people
right.
that have agreed that for the greater good, we're going to give all of this information to the public, to each other, in hopes of others picking up the ball and running with it. And so that's really why I started. I picked up the ball and ran with it locally, because I was seeing on the United States page, at least, people in Michigan would say, I can make this, but I need supplies. And then someone in California would say, I'll send them to you. But then you're waiting 5 days, and then how
Sure.
it just occurred to
It
me
breaks
that
down.
if you work locally, exactly, it's just so much faster. And then not only is it faster, but you're really getting to connect. You feel like you're helping your neighbors. And so there's something so
You are.
beautiful about, yeah, it's just knowing that, like, this is staying within your community. It's really brought together the community in a way that I've never seen in my lifetime,
Can you give us
truly.
an example of something that was utilized locally through Mather or St. Charles, or something that early on went to those hospitals or may still be going there?
Sure. So I have a couple of items, if I could show you,
Please,
beyond what
please.
I'm wearing. So I've just been blown away by everybody's ingenuity. So here is a 3D printed face shield.
God.
So you can see this is the 3D printed part here. So this purple part that you see, they come in all different colors now, from the makers. And then this plastic you see is a transparency slide, or sometimes they'll use other office supplies. And so what they do is you put this here. And so anybody working with a COVID patient, this is like a true barrier. So if a COVID patient sneezes or breathes on someone, this is the way for them to have much more protection than a mask. It protects their eyes, it protects their nose and mouth as well. And so these So a local person donated over 300 of these the other day. So
Wow.
they made and donated, and so my the organization, the LIOSMS has gotten so big that we have over 15 administrators who are helping to uh, uh, gather these donations and then make sure they get out to the people who have used the request form, and get that out, get those connected using our delivery drivers as quickly as possible. So it's just, I feel like the Amazon warehouse here.
I was just going
Simply,
to say, is most of your day, are you now a logistics person? I mean,
I yeah, I do this. I usually wake up to a phone call from someone, saying I'm on your porch, or did you have this, and so that's the first thing in the morning, and then like 14 or 15 hours later, I'll go to sleep exhausted again. But this is pretty much it right now, and it's been since it started. And there's nothing else I'd rather be doing. And I'm fueled by the generosity and the enthusiasm from the all of the generous, talented people who are giving their time and energy to this. Just really, some of the other things,
mhm.
we have the mask mates. So if you've heard stories about the elastic just like killing the backs of people's ears.
Yes, and
So
we've seen it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, blisters. I can't even imagine. And so if you have to wear those elastic masks, people now, the crocheters are in on it. So a lot of they felt left out until
That's
these.
beautiful.
So now, yeah, you can crochet this, and then put the buttons on, and then you would hook your mask straps there, right? So that's one great one. And then the Boy Scouts Troop 197 has made a 3D printed version, so you kind of,
Wow. Oh yeah, we
you
got
can
that
see, so
right.
that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So that's another one. The fabrics that have come out of like grandmother's collections have been so lovely. So here's a mask that somebody local made, but it's just really like so joyful. I mean, to bring these things into the lives of the essential workers, and to the community that's come around this is already talking about folks who they want to meet each other. These so we're planning at
Sure.
the end of this, once way past the time when it's technically allowed to have gatherings. So I'm guessing hopefully by the fall, we'll be able to have some kind of like potluck get together here at the Fox and Owl Inn to thank everyone and have everybody come meet and celebrate this.
Joyous.
Yeah.
Joyous. What part does social media play in this? It must play a huge part because of, as you said, the interconnection. I need this, you can make this. Oh, I met this person that did. It almost seems like it wouldn't even be possible without social media.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I guess being like I'm 30 years old. I've always had social media, and so it's difficult
Right.
for me to imagine the time before. But I know, I imagine folks might have made it work. It reminds me of the wartime efforts. So it must, somehow folks made it work before social media, but
True.
social media just made it so much easier
The
to
peer-to-peer
to
aspect, I think, was, you're right. In wartime efforts, there were factories that were turned into wartime factories. What's different about this is the
right.
peer-to-peer aspect, which I think is made completely possible through social media. Which is
Absolutely. Yes. And so, people will post something about how, gosh, we're up to like 150 volunteers, that's amazing. Or, we've just
right.
delivered, this many masks, or whatever it is, and they'll share that, and then that gets more people involved, or it helps connect us to more people who need help. And so it's just the information that gets out there. A volunteer just started an Instagram for us too. So, now we have that whole platform, because I think the younger generation, which
That's where they are. Yeah.
I don't like saying younger generation yet, but I guess
You're
here
right
I
in the middle.
am. Um, I'm getting there. But they, some for some, Facebook is like, they're like,
Well,
that's for old people.
I know.
Like, I'm not offended.
Well,
but
I
but
can assure you the people that are watching this are on Facebook and they need your efforts and what you guys are doing. They appreciate it. So you're right. There's a plateau and
fantastic.
for everyone. What else do you want people to know?
Yeah.
What can people do that are watching this? They must feel inspired by you and your efforts. What can they do? What do you want them to do, or at least think about doing?
Well, and I appreciate that. Really, what I want everyone to stop and think is like, we're all going to remember this time. This is one of those pivotal moments in shared by all generations that everybody will reference. And I want everyone to think, what do you want to reflect on when people talk about this time? What do you want to be able to say you did during quarantine? And if you want to be able to say that you helped, there's absolutely a way within this organization for you to help. So whether it's looking through your home for very commonly used items that you'd be happy to do spring cleaning and get rid
You
of
know, it's
anything
so
like.
funny. One of the things that I read today was, and I'm definitely doing this, it's so easy, is the gift bags that my wife saves in a closet.
Yes,
They're
yes.
beautiful gift bags. I'm giving them to you.
Thank you so much. And so for every gift bag that we get, I'm telling you, my husband has been a trooper. He's not only been helping me pack items, but then he keeps me fed, which is like his big contribution here, because nobody wants to see me hungry.
No,
But it's
no
it's
hangriness.
no, hangry doesn't look good on anybody. But really, my mother dropped off like pretty much all of her gift bags last night, and they all went out today.
Yeah.
So it's really, the number of packages we're sending out is phenomenal, and to send them out in gift bags is so lovely, because it's this celebration of the people who are out there working. We like to send out to anybody working in the medical field little lotions as well. And so if you think of any time you've gone to a hotel and you're like, oh, I like this lotion, and you put it
Yeah.
in the bag, and then it's in your cupboard in your bathroom, but like you're not going to use it again, really. So like I know I got like probably 2 dozen of those out of my
Yeah,
my
those out.
bathroom already. And so those like individual size candies, the little things that we put a little, essentially like a goodie bag together, again, to say thank you. So whatever comes in, it goes right back out to these workers. And you can go on the Facebook page and see the Long Island Open Source Medical
Hmm.
Supplies. There are just so many posts from grateful essential workers who are just so grateful, and their gratitude is not, it's not to me, it's to the sum of everybody who has made this happen, because it can't happen without everyone who stopped themselves from thinking that what they were doing was too little.
Yes.
Nothing is too little.
That's very true. But I often get stumbled with that, going, well, that's not enough. No,
Right.
it's the sum of everybody's little contributions equals one big, incredible contribution. That's a very
Exactly.
good point. What's the furthest west you went with supplies? Have you gone into deep Nassau County, or what's the furthest east from
So
Port Jeff?
I know that we are just delivering to Greenpoint this weekend.
Yep.
Greenport, not
Greenport
Greenpoint.
is
The other,
way
that's
far
the other
east, and
direction.
Greenpoint is yeah, exactly. Awesome.
But no, we're so we've just technically expanded. We had sort of tried to start a separate Nassau chapter, but with my many brilliant administrators, we were saying, well, is there an efficiency to just keeping it one page, on the
Yeah,
surface,
Long
and then
Island, sure.
internally we're breaking out, so that the makers and the drivers and everyone mostly within Nassau County will stay together, and Suffolk County will stay together, so that those items, it would be nonsense to bring something from Manorville to all the way to like past.
East
I'm
Meadow.
trying to think.
How's that?
Thank you. You can tell I'm a Suffolk girl. I'm like over there.
I got you. West of Melville.
Thanks for the save.
You got it.
But yeah, it's this is why I'm not running the Nassau group. But my Suffolk geography has gotten even better as a result of this. But really, it's just been incredible. I'm almost hesitant to say this because I don't want to jinx it. Like, politics has not come up once,
Yeah.
and it's just and I say it because my husband asked this the other day. He says, like, how many conversations have you had to kind of like nix out of the group? We have 1,400 members in this Facebook group, and never once has anyone breathed a word of
That's
it. And I'm the
refreshing.
administrator. It is like I would definitely nix it if I saw it, but I haven't had to, because this is not a political situation. It's a situation that transcends politics and cultural divides and anything. We have one of our amazing volunteers has translated all of our forms into Spanish, so language is not a barrier either for either people who need help or want to help. And so it's just bringing all of Long Island together in this and being a bright silver lining to a very dark time.
That's what I've been coding some of our segments, the silver lining. We just spoke, I don't know if you saw the last thing I did was with a Stony Brook MSW student, and her silver lining, as I've been calling it, was loneliness and helping with the people that are in quarantine that don't have anybody. So
Which
it,
breaks my heart,
it does.
Yeah.
So thank you. You know, Rebecca, was so proud of you here at the village, of course, and people around the village and all over Long Island. We're going to get the word out. People should go to the Facebook page, Long Island Open Source Medical Supplies. You're absolutely getting bags from me. I'm probably going to hop in my van and do a few deliveries for you too. I mean that. You know, thank
Oh,
you so much. It means a
amazing.
lot.
Thank you so much. And then if people don't have Facebook, there's a website as
Yes.
well. So I'll give you
What
that
is that?
information. And it's like a Google website. I've been learning
Oh,
so
I
much,
saw it.
but
I saw it. I'll put it down at
yeah,
the bottom.
that's perfect. That's great. Yeah, it's a little bit of a long one, but yeah, we wanted Facebook not to be a barrier either. And so,
Absolutely.
and I thank you so much for having us on, for signal boosting this, and hopefully we reach more people who need help and more people who want to help, because every little bit makes this huge movement all the more powerful.
Absolutely, Rebecca. Good luck to your whole team. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
And say hello to the husband, who's really the background support there.
Will do. Hey, well, I couldn't do it without him. I really couldn't. Very
Very
good.
good.
Thank you.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye-bye now.